feeling lost and I have nowhere else to go now. I don't really have a place to call my home now. Everybody hating on, I feel so cold now. Why do everybody make me feel alone? Like I'm feeling lost and I have nowhere else to go now. I don't really have a place to call my home.
And on top that you're annoying. Great, Naruto said sarcastically. I can get my daddy to fire you, Naruto yelled. Fire? Naruto laughed. Fire me? That's the greatest ninja in Konoha who has killed thousands of men fired me? The person stronger than the Hokage? You really want me to have a grudge against the leaf? Naruto laughed. My daddy could beat you any day, Naruto yelled. Oh really, but can the daughter defend herself? Especially since you're under my custody, Naruto said coldly. You're the Hokage's daughter. Beating me should be a breeze, right? Naruto asked. Naruto stuttered. That's what I thought. Okay, Team 7, move out. Naruto yelled, commanding Sakura and Sasuke nodded and started the path with Naruto coming behind. This is going to be one hell of a horrible trip, Naruto muttered. Minato sent Tazuna to meet Team 7 at the gates. Upon getting there, Naruto and Sakura and Sasuke greeting the man, but Naruto was a different story. Do we have to protect this old guy, drunk man? Naruto whined, obviously wanting to protect someone better. Yes, so shut up or leave, Naruto said. Naruto growled, putting out a kunai. She threw it at poor bridge builder, who did nothing wrong. It suddenly flashed. Naruto was in front of Tazuna holding a kunai. It was disbanded you from the team. If you continue to do this stupid things, we do not, and I repeat, do not kill our clients. Naruto said, obviously irritated. Psst, like anyone would want to even look at him, Naruto said. He actually does have a family. He's the hero of the village. Building a bridge against Gato something you couldn't do in 100 years. So be respectful or your probation will be more longer, Naruto said before shaking Tazuna's hand and moving out with Sakura and Sasuke and Naruto. Tazuna walked with them before passing a huge puddle. Naruto looked down at the puddle before nodding. He passed by and his team did so too. Idiot, Naruto mumbled before throwing two kunais at the puddle. Out came out two demon brothers holding two kunais. You're dead, my fox. One of them yelled as he ran towards Naruto, wrapping his chains around him. Naruto broke out the chains and raced faster than the Hokage towards the brothers. Naruto delivered one punch to the jaw, one jaw to the shoulder, one kicked to the groin, and one pressure point on his eyes. When he fell down, Naruto then yelled fire style jutsu as a large fireball came out of his mouth, igniting the brothers. The second demon brother wrapped his chains around his arms and armor and lunged at Naruto. Naruto grabbed his wrist and flipped into the ground, making a large crater. Naruto then yelled, Wind style, wind bullet. Naruto waved his hands, and a large wind pushed by, cutting the second demon brother in half. Naruto does his hands before saying, What a shameful. You didn't help Naruto. Naruto said, glaring at her. Sakura and Sasuke didn't either, Naruto yelled, stamping her foot. No, Sakura was scoffing the trees, looking at for more enemies, and Sasuke was protecting the client. You, on the other hand, just froze there, Naruto said before turning and leaving a grunchy Naruto. Let's keep walking, Naruto said. on his team. Then all of a sudden they heard Naruto yell, "Duck!" So the team dug except Naruto, who clutched a huge sword, twirling it around his fingers. Ah, Zabuza Moshimochi. The last we meet again, old friend, Naruto said, drawing his sword. You too, Night Fox. Zabuza grinned. Naruto laughed. Zabuza Mochi, Naruto said, twirling the giant sword on his finger. We meet at last. He continued. You too, Night Fox. Naruto laughed. Naruto grabbed the sword and inspected it. Sharp, but a little chunky, Naruto said, tapping his finger on the tip before watching the crimson substance dropping out of the cut of his finger. Naruto then tossed over to the sword to Zabuza, who caught it. Hand over the old geezer, Zabuza said. Sorry, Zabuza, but our mission is to protect this geezer, Naruto said. Then I'll just have to take him from you, Zabuza yelled. Yeah, yeah, Naruto said, waving it off. Can Haku come out already? This is sad, he continued. Zabuza grinned before yelling, We know you there, Haku, come on out. Soon after Haku jumped out of the trees, he growled, Zabuza Sama, this Night Fox, are you sure you want to fight him? Haku asked, concerned for his master. I can beat him any time, Zabuza smirked. Are we going to fight or not? Naruto asked. Taking a stance, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto back off. This is not your fight, Naruto said, commanding them to stand behind them. But Sensei, we have to help, Sakura begged. Yeah, we have to help, Sasuke said, finally eager for once in his life. I'm sorry, but no, Naruto said, pushing them back. A smile graced Naruto's lips. Shall we dance? Indeed, Zabuza Musamochi laughed. Naruto pulled out two scythes. If you and twin them before pausing in the stance. Naruto grinned at Zabuza, launching forward his swords, ready to stab. Naruto jumped over to Zabuza, preparing to stab his back with the scythe. Zabuza lunged at the last minute and kicked Naruto back. Naruto clenched his stomach before starting to make hand signs. Fire style, fireball jutsu, Naruto yelled, feeling a hot taste of fire boiling out of his mouth. Zabuza glimpsed and jumped hurriedly, his eyes widened at the size of the fireball. Wait, only the Sharingan users can use that jutsu, Sasuke exclaimed as the pulled out another kunai to protect Tazuna. Sakura and nodded before asking, Wait, where's Nato? She asked, looking around. Sakura then gasped. That freaking idiot, Sakura grumbled under her breath. Nato hid to the trees and grinned slightly as she pulled out a kunai and shurikens to kill Sabusa. Then Night Fox Sensei would praise her. Of course, Nato was about to throw it. Then Haku appeared behind her. Well, well, well. Does someone wants to hurt my master? Haku asked, snatching the kunai out of Nato's hands and tossing them in slow coldly on the ground. What will you do now? Haku asked, looking emotionless at Nato. Sensei, Nato yelled. Naruto looked and looking at the screaming Nato in the treetops. Naruto growled as he pulled out a slender kunai. Naruto bloody flickered next to Zabuza and slid his back, which made him fall in pain. Naruto then rushed, hopping. Zabuza would take time to recover. Naruto raced, brought to the trees before growling at Haku. Let the girl go. She has no value, Naruto yelled. No, I have heard her. She bragged about being the Hokage's daughter all of the time. She would pay well for the reasons Haku said, throwing Naruto off the trees into the cold snowy ground. Naruto didn't move. Well, Go save your student, Haku said, pointing at the shivering Naruto. Naruto shook his head. It's a trap. You're buying time for Zabuza. Can attack me. You know it? Naruto said. Haku grinned his teeth in response. Fine. Then she mine and the money will go to Zabuza. Haku yelled, swooping down for Naruto. Haku picked up her as Naruto screamed, no way. I want Night Fox Sensei to pick me up. Naruto screeched and jumped off Haku's arms. That's why I'm staying. Still, you're an idiot, Naruto continued before jumping in front of Naruto. I'll protect you, Naruto yelled, pulling out two kunais. Haku groaned as he pulled out two senbon needles and tossed faster than Grim Gennings could see. Naruto shook his head, knowing Naruto couldn't save herself. Naruto jumped over Naruto and landed in front of her before pulling her into his arms and shielded the symbols piercing Naruto's back and grinned his teeth. Oh ho, Haku said sarcastically. Poison isn't good for you, Haku said, stating obvious. Naruto groaned as he pulled the symbols out of his back and then yelled Byakugan. All of a sudden, Naruto's eyes were purple. Then he yelled 64 trigrams and started to hit all Haku's vital points. Once Haku fell down, he picked himself up and placed him on the icy bridge. Zabuza, he's gone, Naruto said, nursing himself back the antidote from his pocket. How dare you, Zabuza yelled, emotionally lunged for Naruto. Naruto caught his sword, sent him fight back before walking over to placing a kunai in it. Go, Tiger, Naruto said as 100 of men started to surround them, with Gato leading them. Zabuza smiled a bit before racing towards them, all leaving his mask on, who was the demon of the mist. Once he collapsed, Naruto made out of word that he never thought a demon could say. Thank you. Naruto smiled softly as he picked up Zabuza's body and placed him next to Haku. Face, pure peacefulness and death. All of us have an inner demon only in times of our loved ones being gone too. We ever release it? Naruto said before turning away to see his team. He could have sworn he heard Haku's soft voice vibrating through the air. Thank you for setting me free. Naruto walked down slowly the streets, ignoring the squeals of Sakura and the fangirls of Naruto. Wow, just way you saved me. You must really love me, Naruto swore. Must Sakura growled. Night Fox-kun was her. She was sure they fall in love. Sakura just knew it, even though they couldn't see it. Those azure ocean blue eyes were menacing. Sakura smacked Naruto on her head. Baka. He had to. That's what sensei are for. For nothing special, don't get any ideas. Sakura yelled. Sasuke just walked slowly. Hey, Night Fox Sensei, would you like to go to a barbecue place with me? Sakura asked, fumbling her hands. And me? Naruto said, popping in. Oh, and Sasuke, Naruto said, grabbing his arms. Now, these two will fight over for me? Naruto thought. After all, she was the best, for sure. Night Fox Sensei shrugged. Naruto looked at the menu before ordering some sheer beef with a small cup of ramen. He then looked over at the three. So, Night Fox Sensei, what are your hobbies?